my name is Talia. I'm a perpetually professed member of the Institute of Our Lady of the Annunciation. I received a very good question today in my inbox on Instagram about how the memorials are prayed for the Liturgy of the Hours, how it seems to be a bit confusing because the prayers don't seem to be matching up, that it's hard to find things. And I can understand the confusion because initially doing the memorials can seem kind of like random. So there's two tools that can be very helpful for trying to figure it out, and also try to explain and show using today's memorials as an example, because we are doing today, and today is the 12th of September. So it's the optional memorial of the Holy Name of Mary. So it works out very well to explain this, how this works. And I'll use morning prayer as an example because it's probably the easiest one to follow along with. So first of all, one of the best tools when trying to figure out the liturgy hours, and it also tells you what feasts and memorials and all that are coming up, is St. Joseph's Guide for the Liturgy of the Hours. And each year there's a new one that comes out just because of, sometimes things will shift, for each year, as, Easter's on different days each year. So usually it's Easter's and some of the other feasts that kind of are movable. So this changes each year. And I happen to have the large print version just because that's the one I got, which is convenient because that means I can show you a little bit easier what you are looking at. I do also have the Book of Christian Prayer, and I'll try to, this is not a large print version. My mom has that one, but I think I could still show you sufficiently what you're looking for. So when you open up your St. Joseph's Guide, and we're going to be looking for, there we go. Here's for Friday the 12th, and let me see if I can put my finger there right away. Okay. Friday the 12th, I'm not sure if this is backwards for you guys, is right along here. And it says on here, Friday the 23rd week in ordinary time, and it gives you where all of it would be as if you were normal, but then it says or underneath there, or Most Holy Name of Mary, and next to that it has italicized new, and then underneath it says from Com of BVM 1628. So what that's saying is you'll be using the Common of the Blessed Virgin Mary. All cool, all good. And the Common of the Blessed Virgin Mary, if you've been doing Liturgy of the Hours for a while, you'll know that all your commons are towards the back end of the book. You have the Common of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which is what I have marked here. You have the Common of Pastors. You also have the commons that are a little bit more complicated, like the Common of, hang on, let me find one. The Common for Religious, which also uses the part of Common of Holy Men and Women. That's a whole nother thing. Let's just focus on something simple, which is today's memorial. So for today, we have the Common of the Blessed Virgin. Now, because this is a newer feast, so you're not going to find her stuff in the proper saints, like you might when we, like you did when we had earlier in the week, the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So you start out looking when you know you have a memorial. Is there something in the proper of saints? Okay, nothing in the proper of saints. Then we go on to the common. Then you take your psalms, and they'll tell you in the St. Joseph's Guide where your psalms come from. It's usually for the Psalter of the day. So we go to the Holy Name of Mary, and his OOR, that's for the Office of Readings. Now we're looking at Office of Morning Prayer, so we're going to skip that line. We're going to go to the line below that, which says MP 1640, comma PS 1051, comma, PR 1645 F. So what does that all mean? So MP 1640, that tells you where you can find the Psalter. So MP 16, oh, I'm sorry, that tells you where you can find, not the Psalter. That's the common for morning prayer. So 1640, that'll take you to your hymn for the morning prayer. So then you make your choice of what hymn that you want from the common of the Blessed Virgin Mary. After that, then it says PS, which is Psalter, and that's 1051. So you know you're going to be doing the Psalms from the Psalter of the day, and that happens to be page 1051 according to the St. Joseph Guide. And it is, so, okay, what about the antiphons for that? Now, usually, okay, so how do I say this? Okay, so you have taken your hymn from the common of the Blessed Virgin Mary, because that's what we're doing this time. Then, because it says PS 1051, that tells you, let's go to the Psalter of the day, which happens to be 1051 for us, which is Friday, week 3. And so you take the antiphon for the psalmody. So, you alone I have grieved by my sin. Have pity on me, O Lord, for Psalm 51. 51. So you take the antiphon for the Psalms together. So for this particular memorial, because there's no special antiphons for the memorial of Blessed Virgin Mary. Clear as mud? I'm sorry if it's confusing you more, but so you go through your Psalter until you are finished with the Psalms. Now, apparently you do have the option of taking either the reading from the Psalter or the reading from the common. I usually choose to go with the reading from the common, but if you choose to go with wherever you choose to do the reading from, you have to do the responsory that matches that. So I can't take the reading from the Psalter, which was 2 Corinthians 12, 9b to 10, or from, I can't take that, but not take the responsory. Just like I can't go to the common of the Blessed Virgin and take her particular reading, which was, that's proper saints. So for her, this morning, it was Isaiah 61:10. So I can't mix and match the reading for those two, I can't take the Psalter's reading and the responsory from the common, or vice versa. I had to do the reading and the responsory from both, the one that matches up. Either I do the reading and the responsory from the Psalter or the reading and responsory from the common. I usually choose the common because it's a special day and I want to feel more special. And since it's an option, that's the option I choose to go with. I feel like I'm making this more confusing. I'm so sorry. The next thing that it says then is prayer 164F. So 164 is going to be 164. There we go. It gives you all the options for ending prayers. Oh, I wonder. Hang on, let me count this. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so I just realized that maybe when they have the F after there, that might mean they're actually recommending a particular ending prayer. So if you look at it, there's several choices for the ending prayer, because there's no special ending prayer for this particular feast day. You had to choose one of the ones from the common. And F looks like it would end up being the last of the options, because if you look through, there's several options for an ending prayer. A, B, C, D, E, F, and that'd be the last one. The intercessions prior to the ending prayer would also be taken from the common. now that I've made it all confusing, I'm going to try to break it down simply. And even more simply, I'm so sorry. A very good book that explains things a lot better than I can is The Divine Office for Dodos. And I'm going to use a chart they have in here to try to make this a little less confusing. So you're on a memorial, and first things first, so you're going to always check the proper of saints first. So is there the saints day within the proper saints? Does it have anything there for you for that section first? So you're looking at the invitatory. Does the proper of saints have an invitatory for that saint of the day? Now, we know that today's memorial did not. But if you go to, I think it was Monday that had the Virgin Mary's feast day, she had an invitatory in her proper saints. Awesome. Because it's on the proper saints, that's where you start. So you take the invitatory from the proper saints if it is there. If it is not, you take your invitatory from the common of the day, or apparently from the Psalter. I have always used the common of the day because if I'm doing a special day, let's make it as much linked to the saint of the feast memorial as possible. So your hymn, if there's nothing in the proper of saints, so that's the area that has like the dates, September 8th, September 12th, whatever it happens to be. So is there a hymn in the proper of saints? Now we know for today's, for the memorial of the name of the Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin Mary, there was not a proper of saints. However, on September 8th, we check the hymn area in the proper saints, and it says hymn 616. So you're going to go, oh, I'm sorry, 616 is a Te Deum, excuse me. You go through, you try to go to the morning prayer area for the proper saints. If there's no hymn there, you take it from the common. So, okay, you've taken your hymn from the common because that's what was required for both for the feast of for the memorial of the blessed, for the memorial of the Holy Name of Mary, and for the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I'm just going to focus on the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary because it's a little bit more easy. It's a little easier. So it doesn't have the hymn listed in the proper of saints. So, okay, not in the proper, go to the common of Blessed Virgin Mary. Okay, so you've done your invitatory. You've done your hymn. Next is going to be your psalms from your Psalter. Now, once again, for the psalmody, you check and make sure there's nothing in the proper of saints. Because sometimes for really big days, you might have something special in there. A lot of times it'll tell you if it's a really big day, like a really important feast day, they will a lot of times have you take the readings from Sunday week 1. And that will usually be told to you in the proper of saints area. Now, we'll see that, okay, everything in the proper of saints here, we actually have antiphons here for the proper of saints for the birth of the Blessed Virgin. And then it says Psalms and Canticle from Sunday week 1. But you're going to take the antiphons before the canticles from the proper of saints because the proper of saints trumps everything else. Okay, so because now I am going to head back to the Holy Name of Mary because it is pertinent, because I think this is part of where the confusion came on for the person I was talking to, which I definitely understand. For the memorial of the Holy Name of Mary, there is no proper saints. Or for other memorials where there's no antiphons for proper saints or just has an ending prayer, what do? Okay, so you finished your hymn in the common. That's gonna be what we were doing. So we did our hymn in the common. And your next step then is you go over to the Psalter. of the day. And usually the St. Joseph's Guide will have the number, it'll say MP, it'll have the number for the common, and then it'll have a comma, PS, and it'll give you the page number to take you to the morning prayer Psalter of the day. And so you take your Psalms and Canticle with the antiphons before and after from there. Okay, now you've finished the psalmody. Next comes the reading. So the reading, apparently, besides being taken from the common, can be taken from the Psalter. However, again, proper of saints trumps everything. For the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary, there is a reading and responsory in the proper of saints. So that's where you would take it from. However, for the optional memorial, or sometimes for other memorials, when there's nothing in the proper of saints, no reading, no responsory, a lot of time you have two options. You could take from the psalmody, or you can take it from the common. Personally, I prefer to take it from the common because it is a special day, and I can do the stuff from the psalmody on normal days. So I then would flip back to the common of Blessed Virgin Mary, do my reading, do my responsory. Next comes, because this is morning prayer, the Canticle Zechariah. Where do you take the antiphon from? Once again, check the proper saints. Do we have an antiphon for the Canticle Zechariah from the proper saints? If we do, we use that. If we don't, again, you have the option of using the common of Blessed Virgin Mary in this case, or whatever the common of the particular feast is, or you can use the Psalter. I usually use the common because, again, I can use the Psalter on a non-memorial day. Why would I use it on a memorial? So, okay, so I do my antiphon before the Canticle Zechariah from the common of the Blessed Virgin Mary. What now? So, and it's the same thing for evening prayer for the Canticle of Mary. Just, instead of the Canticle of Zechariah, you do the Canticle of Mary. Intercessions. Where do you take the intercessions from? Well, what trumps everything else? Proper of saints. Check proper of saints. Do we have intercessions there? Well, usually they'll either have them there, or they'll say, like this does for the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary, it says in red, intercessions from the common of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and it gives you a page number. So you're going to follow that page number. Now, if you don't happen to have that information for that particular day in the proper of saints, you have two choices. You can take your intercessions from the Psalter, or you can take it from the common. I always choose the common because it's a special day. Why would I pray it like it's a normal day? Okay, so you've done your intercession. What about your concluding prayer? Now, a lot of times, most of the time, unless it's a newer feast day, you'll end up taking it from the proper saints. If nothing else, usually the proper saints will at least have the concluding prayer. Now, because the memorial of the Holy Name of the Blessed Virgin is a newer feast day, a newer memorial, you will be going to the common, and it gave you a page number and a letter. And it just occurred to me, the letter means you count down and you see which ending prayer they would prefer. That's what I'm guessing anyway. So that's how you do the basic part. There are also points where the St. Joseph Guide will then say appendix. So I forget we had a feast day or memorial this week where we had to go to, who was it? Let me check. It was St. Peter Claver. So I think because he's maybe America specific. I don't know. Sometimes there's special saints in the appendix or in our little red, let me see if I can find it. Or in our little red supplement book. So if that's the case, if it's not in the common or in the proper saints, sometimes they'll say go to the appendix in the St. Joseph's Guide, or they'll say go to the supplement. But the St. Joseph's Guide usually is pretty good about letting you know. It can be a little bit hard to decipher sometimes, but after some practice, it is quite helpful. And I also find to be very helpful the information that you can find in the area where it has the invitatory and all the information basically about how to pray it. It's usually about in the center of the book. And that's where you find the actual invitatory, the Canticle of Zechariah, the Canticle of Mary, some of the daytime prayer stuff. It walks you through the basics. Now, you really do need something like the St. Joseph's Guide to help you through some of the more special days because it can be a bit confusing. I do recommend, and I'm not getting anything off of this, I do recommend the Divine Office for Dodos because it does have a nice chart in here that really does break it down simply. I want to find that page again. There we go. It's page 155. Let me put a tab there so I can find it again later if I need to. It has a really, really nice chart here that really breaks it down into the parts of the office, where you check first, and then where you go after that. It's really simple. It's really visual. I highly recommend it because, yes, it can be confusing if you're not used to it, if it's never been broken down for you. I know I've made things a bit confusing. It's the same thing when you're looking through the Book of Christian Prayer. It has its own St. Joseph's Guide. Theirs is a little bit more difficult to read for the Book of Christian Prayer, in my opinion. But let's go ahead. Let's look at the one for the one for the Holy Name of Mary. It still has all the parts. The thing is, like, they will have more in parentheses. So, like, it will have MP and it'll say 1372. Well, again, that would take you to the common. But after that, it'll have antiphon, ANT in parentheses, and then give you a number, 906. And that will take you to the Psalter. But then, you know, it'll go through daytime prayer and all that. But it's really not the best for breaking it down in the Book of Christian Prayer one. It kind of takes a little bit more deciphering, a little bit more practice. There's an area in brackets that tells you how to find the ending prayer. That's where it says PR. And then again, it will say 1376F or 628. I find the St. Joseph's Guide for the Book of Christian Prayer to be more confusing, to require a little bit more practice, but you can, once you get used to it, find things. But the easiest thing to remember is, like the Divine Office for Dodos chart says, where you check first. First check the proper saints. If it's not there, go to the common. After you've done your basic stuff like the hymn, and after you've done your invitatory antiphon, your invitatory, your hymn, after your hymn taken from the common or from the proper, you head over to the Psalter. Then after you're done with your psalmody, you would then head back to the common. You would check the proper saints first. If what you need is not in the proper saints, you head to the common. And then you do your parts that you're used to doing. Always check the proper saints first, but the rest of the stuff, other than your two psalms and the canticle going to be taken from either the proper saints or the Psalter, and then it will tell you where to go from there. Of course, always your canticle Zechariah, your invitatory, and your canticle of the Blessed Virgin will always be found in the same places. But the other pieces and parts, check the proper saints first, then check the common. Your psalmody, unless otherwise stated, is going to be the one for that day in the 4-week cycle. It's usually only going to be Sunday week 1 when it specifically says so in the proper of saints. I hope that I've been able to explain it well. If you are confused, please ask me. I will try to make it more clear. I know that it can be very confusing while you're getting used to praying it in this way, especially if you have been maybe used to using the app where it does that for you. But the app is also helpful in helping you train through the parts. I know when I first started and I first was confused before I got the book about the dodos, because I actually didn't read that part that I showed you before. I had to flip through for it. I would sometimes take the app and compare it with the book and be like, okay, what are they using? Why are they using it? And I would be able to decipher what was going on and how I should be praying this based off of how the app used it. So that might be a bit helpful to do a compare and contrast if you're a little confused about where you need to go. I'm not even recommending that you just depend on the app. Use it as a tool, as a way to help you walk your way through if you're really confused, because they have it set up even if they don't tell you where to go. If you already know you have to do proper saints first, common, and of course your Psalter. If you know you have to check those areas, if you see what the app is using and then compare it to your book, you can start putting the pieces together and be like, okay, I understand now. I can visualize this now. This makes sense. But I do recommend, like I said, the Divine Office for Dodos. That chart is very visual. I can see where maybe if I explained it, if it doesn't work for you, which I totally understand, this does explain things clearly and in a very understandable manner. So this is a good book. There's also plenty of other books out there. I'm on a journey to learn as much as I can about the Liturgy of the Hours, so I can fully not only understand how to get the most out of the prayer, but also everything about it, its history, everything. So I've been on a journey to read as much about the Liturgy of the Hours as possible. I earlier was reading the companion prayer book to Liturgy of the Hours. Then as well, I was reading and this one's a little bit less of a how-to as in like the step-by-step, like this one's a step-by-step. This one is more about really steeping yourself into the prayer and into the mind space that you need to be to really get the most out of Liturgy of the Hours. Now this one here is a little bit of both. And this is Father Gallagher's Layman's Liturgy of the Hours. Now I haven't really gotten to much of his how-to section. His stuff isn't quite as detailed in this as the Divine Office for Dodos. I have a couple of other books that I want to go through for Liturgy of the Hours. I have one that Father Gallagher wrote, that also talked about his personal journey to really embracing the Liturgy of the Hours. But I am still on this journey to really get steeped into the Liturgy of the Hours. And I hope that, as I continue along this journey, that maybe some of that I can share with you guys. Because we have such a beautiful prayer here with liturgical prayer. If I have confused you here with this really long video of explanation, please let me know, because I don't want you to be confused. I want this prayer to be a rich experience for you, whether it is an ordinary day, a memorial, a feast day, whether it's an optional memorial or a required memorial, whatever day it is that we're praying liturgy together, I want you to be able to get the most out of this rich prayer that we're praying with so many people all over the world. So thank you very much for watching this slightly incoherent video. Please let me know if this helped you. Please let me know if this didn't help you. Please let me know if I need to explain something more. I will happily make another video and try to be more clear, do more research, try to make it make sense. But thank you very much for joining me for this video. Probably in about, let's see, it's 3:35 right now. So I will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Liturgy the Hours Office of Evening Prayer for the optional memorial of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So once again, because this is an optional memorial, there won't be anything the proper saints because this is a new one. So we will go to the common. We will start with the hymn from the common. Then we will go to the Psalter for the day. And let's verify with St. Joseph's Guide. That should be what we're doing. So St. Joseph's Guide says that we're going to be doing Psalter 1062, which would be the Psalter for the day. So we go over to the Psalter for the day, which I believe is week 3 Friday. 1052. I'm sorry, not 1052. 1052 is morning prayer. 1062. Yeah, it's week 3 Friday. So I hadn't put my marker in the right place. So you'll have done your hymn in the common. We'll go to the Psalter. We'll do the 2 Psalms and the canticle from the Psalmody there. We'll return to the common. We'll do the reading from the common. We'll do our responsory from the common. Then we'll do the antiphon for the canticle of the Blessed Virgin Mary from the common. We'll go do the canticle of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Then we'll come back to the common. We'll do the intercessions from the common. And then we'll do the ending prayer from the common. And let's see which ending prayer that they prefer. So, Gonna check and see. So it says 1645 F again. So we use the same one that we did for morning prayer. The last of the ending prayer options. So I hope this makes it make more sense. I will be back, like I said, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for this optional memorial. And I hope that this very long description will make that easier for you. Thank you very much if you managed to sit through all this. I will see you the next time that we pray together. God bless. Bye.